Today we are discussing social media, and I know it can be a contentious subject for a lot of people. So I'm excited to burst a few myths, and I'm excited to teach you some stuff that you can take away and that will make a difference to you and your business. That's my main objective for today. I know that a lot of you know who I am, and I know a lot of you, and I recognize a lot of names, but I also can see there's quite a few names that I don't know. So if you are new to me and you've never done anything like, one of my workshops or one of my challenges, then a very special welcome to you. You may have just stumbled across me. Somebody might have shared a post, whatever it might be. But if you're new around here, then a very, very warm welcome. A very, very quick potted history of who I am and what I do. Obviously, my name's Faye Cornhill, and I am a mindset and business coach to the wedding industry. So the reason I specialise in the wedding industry is because I am one of you. I have a wedding photography business, so I've been a wedding photographer for over 12 years. And previous to that, I worked in the corporate world. So running businesses and having a head in a spreadsheet is actually something that I really enjoy, and I get super geeky. I know there's a lot of my Wedding Business Club members here, and you will know I love myself a spreadsheet. So as well as all the lovely creative stuff, I really like stoking the engine room of running your business. I left my corporate job to pursue a career as a wedding photographer, and now I help other people do exactly the same. I am also a mum to I always say two young children, although they don't feel that young anymore. They're 12 and 10. So I know what it's like as a parent to juggle the running a business and also having kids, and then trying to spend time with your kids when you're busy planning weddings and actually showing up at weddings. I've written a book. So this is my book. It's called I Do. And that is how to say yes to running a successful and profitable wedding business. I know some of you have read that. And I run a club called the Wedding Business Club, and I can see a few of my members here today. So hello, mwah. Air kisses to my Wedding Business Club members. Every few months I run these free workshops because I want to help you guys, and I know what it's like to get in a bit of a funk over something, and I know what it's like to work on your own. I know what it's like to be at home and be wondering what the heck everyone else is doing. I know what it's like to compare yourself to somebody else's success on the other side of the planet that you've never met, that you don't know from Adam, and suddenly you're comparing your Instagram feed to them. Anyone else done that? And I know you can get into a bit of a spin over it. So today we're going to focus on busting some myths about social media and how you can schedule 30 days of content in 30 minutes. So yeah, that's our goal. Who's keen for that? Who's excited for a bit of this? So let's point out the obvious, right? Time spent being overwhelmed by social media is not time spent well in your business. Tell me in the comments if you are currently in a habit, or there is a pattern around you and social media and being overwhelmed and being stressed, and then the actual end result of all of that is that you don't really do it anyway. Tell me if that's you. Social media is important, right? If your clients hang out on social media and you want to book more clients, which I'm guessing by default, because you're listening to me talk about this, you do. Social media is important. It's part of the puzzle, but it's not the whole puzzle. Okay, so I'm just going to say that again. Social media is part of the puzzle, but it's not the whole puzzle. And I think we can end up in a space where we think our whole business relies on how good we are, how present we are on Instagram, when that's actually not the truth. In the Wedding Business Club, I teach 4 pillars, okay, of running a wedding business: mindset, marketing, brand, and business, okay? And social media is part of one of those pillars. It's part of your marketing strategy. It's not your whole marketing strategy. And there are 4 pillars. So if you're getting in a spin about social media and it's swallowing you up and you're spending tons and tons of time on it, how on earth have you got time to do anything else? The answer is you haven't. And I hear it all the time. Oh, but Faye, I haven't got time for that. I haven't got time to do that. And it's because you're spending time on the wrong stuff. So today is about cutting back on that time. Before we get started, I want you to guess, and then you can't go back and cheat now, but I want you to guess my target number of posts per month on my Faye Cornhill account. Just give me a number. Let's imagine every month has 30 days, okay? Tell me what you think my target number of posts per month is. So I shall wait for those numbers to come through. 30. There's lots of 30s coming up on my screen. Oh, a 6. Lots of 30s. Okay, this is interesting. Everyone's saying 30. 12, 20, 70, 10. Oh, this is such a fun numbers game. Okay, well, I'm going to share that with you in a second. So you have to stay tuned for that one. Let me bust some myths before I tell you that number, okay? One myth is that you need to post every day. If someone tells you that you need to post, like it is essential for you to post every single day, they are wrong. You don't need to. The reality is that you need to post regular, informative, educational, and inspirational content that will prime your audience, that primes them, that takes them from interested person to, actually, I think this could be the person for me. So it's a myth that you need to post every single day. If you can, and it's within your remit, and you've got the time and the content, go post 30 times a month. That will be incredible for you and your business. But it's a myth to say that we all should be doing it. I'll put you out of my misery. My goal is to post 15 times a month. 15 times a month. And every time I say that, people are so surprised because they tell me, oh, but Faye, I feel like you're showing up on social media all the time. How can it be that it's only 15? And listen, you can go back and check. If you've got time on your hands, go back and check how many times I've posted per month. And often people are really, really, really surprised that it's only 15. And in fact, I think in May, it was 12. Okay? So don't beat yourself up about it. The second myth that I hear a lot is that you need to be using every single platform. Has anyone ever thought that? And has anyone ever been told you need to be on Instagram, you need to be on Facebook, you need to get yourself on LinkedIn, and oh, don't forget about Twitter, you know, that was the original, the best. The reality is that you need to work out which platforms are best for you. And of course, what's best for you will be different to the next person, different to the next person. So you need to take the time to work out where your ideal client is hanging out and where they book their suppliers, where they book people like you. And genuinely, it's time to let go of things that are no longer helpful for you in your business. If you have been slaving away at your Twitter account for like 10 years and you've never had an inquiry, you've never had a message through it, maybe it's time just to let go of it and acknowledge that is not a platform that works for me anymore. I've heard it more and more about Facebook, where people are saying, you know, I like Facebook, I haven't got a problem with Facebook, but actually my clients just are not coming from Facebook. So if you need to let go of it, let go of it. And actually, I've heard the same about Instagram. I mean, I love Instagram. It's like my favorite thing. I like it as a consumer. I like it as a business owner. So I'm not going to let go of it. But if it wasn't serving me, why would I be spending all this time trying to create something that actually, is not good for me and my business? So that's the second myth. The third myth, and this is one that so I'm giving you a meal ticket out. You do not need to have the most perfectly polished, curated feed. If it is causing you grief and hassle and you feel like you're not showing up as yourself, break free from that. It is quite liberating when you break free from things having to look a certain way, or, oh, but I can't post that on a Tuesday because my grid will be out of sync. It doesn't have to be perfectly curated. Does it need to be on brand? Yes. Does it need to be attractive to the people that you're trying to convert to paying clients? Yes, of course it does. It can't look a mess and a shambles, but it doesn't have to be perfectly curated if that is causing you a ton of grief. So they're my 3 myths. And here's the thing, there is no, whoa, lots of hearts just came through then. Oh, the relief. Here's the thing, there is no magic wand. I know you'll be disappointed when I tell you this because people love a magic wand, but I'm afraid it does not exist. If you are hoping that you can just switch off and turn on for 30 minutes a month and poof, your social media is done and it attracts the perfect client and it does all the legwork for you, you will be disappointed. There is some work behind the scenes, and that's what we're going to talk about first before we even get to sitting down and scheduling your social media. Because of course the truth is it doesn't need to, and it shouldn't be taking over your life. There are many, many very, very successful people on social media who do not slave away for hours and hours and hours. I'm going to take my Instagram feed as an example. I think I give the illusion that I am on Instagram a lot, and I'm definitely on it more than I should do. But I have cut my time down dramatically in the last 12 months because I found that it wasn't serving me and my mental health. There were things about it that would trigger me, all sorts of emotions around comparing myself to other people and how perfect my feed should be. And I really, really learned to let go this last year. So if you feel like you need to do that, then I recommend that you absolutely do so. Go back to the basics of why you are using social media. Tell me in the comments, why do you use social media? What is the point of you using social media? Because I'm pretty sure that I could guess that it's not to leave you without time, stressed, overwhelmed, comparing yourself to everybody else who does anything remotely similar to what you do. So if it's not all of those things and that's what we're doing, why do we do it? Okay, we've got visibility, absolutely, 100%, that's why we're doing it. Zelda, to get clients, 100%. Stacey, to reach clients, to talk to my ideal clients, because it's my shop front, absolutely. So whenever we get into that funk of it's got to be perfect or I've got to show up every day of the week, you can start reframing that and asking yourself, well, if I'm doing social media because I want to be inspirational, informative, and put out good quality content for my ideal client, and then you're rushing average posts that aren't really inspirational for anyone, I know because I've done that, you're not doing what you came here for. And that is where it's a massive time suck and no good for anybody. Good. So there is some mindset work that needs to be done about what you're there for. And a great tip that I was given years ago, when you're in that, oh my gosh, I'm just going to pick up my phone and look at Instagram, I don't know why, I'm just doing it. Ask yourself, what is my intention? Why am I picking up Instagram at this very moment in time? What have I come to look for? And if the answer is, I don't know, I'm just going to kind of while away the hours, put it back down. So as we said right at the top of this, my 4 pillars to a successful wedding business are obviously mindset, business, marketing, and brand. And if you think you could well be marketing to the wrong people, that's some work that you need to go and do first. Because if you are, slaving away, creating all of this content and you're actually not sure who you're creating it for, again, that's a waste of your time. So go back to the drawing board on that as well. So let's talk about my framework for you. And this is for everybody. Like, you can take this and run with this today. This is something you can start right now that will change the way you are posting on social media forevermore. It sounds like a big promise, but it's because I know it will do exactly that for you. The first thing I want you to do, and there are kind of like 6 steps to this, okay? The first thing I need you to do is to decide which platforms you want to prioritize, okay? So my priority is Instagram because I love it and that's where my clients hang out. You need to do that work for yourself. If you love Instagram, but all of your clients are hanging out at Facebook and you're like, oh, but I don't really like Facebook, you need to ask yourself, well, how is it going to serve me to continue showing up on something that is not really bringing my ideal clients to me? I also keep my Facebook page current. I have little to no interaction on my Facebook page, but I know a lot of people do find me there because I have a lot of clients that do still hang out on Facebook. Twitter's a no for me. And Pinterest, I really do count as something separate. That for me is not a social media. I kind of have a separate section in my life for Pinterest. So number 1, you need to decide what platforms to prioritize. So tell me in the comments, what is your priority platform? Tell me now. And you don't just have to pick one, it can be multiple. You might tell me, actually, YouTube is really my thing. And Instagram no more. I dare say I'm going to see lots of Instagrams now I've asked that question. But number 1 thing you need to do is work out what platform to prioritize. There's lots of Instagrams. Step number 2 is you need to decide how often you want to post. Okay, and I know this sounds obvious and you might be like, oh, well, I want to post as much as I can. Well, I get that, but did anyone ever achieve a target without having that number in place? And if you're a member of the club, you know how much I like to have a target. So how often is sensible for you to post? Every single month. So let's work on the basis of a 30-day month. How often do you want to post? You don't need to post every day. I've said it again. If you can, great. There is nothing wrong. If you tell me I'm committed to 30 posts a month, then fantastic. But if that's not working for you right now, if you've never actually achieved it and you find yourself putting together rubbish content, I'll give you an example. This is speaking from personal experience. I used to post on my photography account and I'd be like, oh, I love this picture of a beautiful bride. Or isn't this cake super pretty? It's not giving anything to anybody. It's just acknowledging the picture. People need more than that. So I quit doing that in favor for the volume, and I moved to a model that I knew was sustainable for me and that actually served my client, gave them information, gave them useful information, inspired them to take action. Okay, so we've got 2 to 3 times a week. I try for 15 posts, then regularly fail. Okay, so let's switch that up. Maybe 10 is a more achievable number for you. 2 to 3 times a week. Okay, great. Is it 2 or is it 3? Let's really drill down on what that looks like. So as you know, mine is 15. It's much better to post good quality content on a slightly less frequent schedule. When I made that change, and this isn't that long ago, probably the beginning of 2020, I decided to change my strategy, and I had my interaction skyrocketed. My interaction, honestly, if there was a chart for this in the back end of Instagram, I switched 30 posts a month, which used to stress me out and I'd write rubbish captions for, to 15 a month that I really put my heart and soul into caption creation, and my following grew massively. If you ever had the time to go back in time and look on my Instagram feed, you would see exactly that. I used to get hardly any likes, hardly any interaction, not many shares. It completely changed the way my Instagram feed worked. So number 2, work out how many times you want to post a month and make that a target. Say it out loud. Tell somebody, write it in the comments right now. What is that number? And let that be your target. Now, step 3 is working out your content strategy. If you're in the club and you've got access to, or you've previously bought my course, the Instagram Blueprint, you'll have heard me talk about this before. I teach you to create something that I call the Insta map, okay? And your Insta map is your the categories of content that you are putting out there, okay? So I want you to choose 4 or 5 categories that you are known for, that you have a passion for, that you've had some success in, or that is a big part of your life. Because the quandary that I hear so many people find themselves in is that they know they should be posting more and they want to post 15 times a month. But when it comes to it, they're actually just like, I'm posting the same thing over and over again, or give me an idea, I've run out of ideas of things to post. So I'll give you some examples of my content, my Instamap categories. Family, and that's relevant because I have a family and my audience are very often family focused people. Travel, because it's like my favorite thing in the whole wide world, and quite often I share that similarity with my audience. Inspirational quotes and videos, again, I love creating things that inspire people, that change the way they think, and that's what my audience really responds to. And transformation and mindset. So you can see all of those categories are actually not specifically linked to, for example, the Wedding Business Club. So none of my categories are called the Wedding Business Club. So it might be that you've got yourself into a habit of posting, let's take an example. Let's say you're a cake maker. I know there are tons and tons and tons of cake makers who are like, here's a cake. Here's a cake, here's another cake, and here's one with flowers on, here's a cake with icing on, here's a cake with no icing. And you find yourself actually being uninspired by your own posts, which means you don't get very much interaction, and then you end up thinking, well, what's the point, because no one interacts with me anyway. Work out what your categories look like. Let's give some examples here. So let's say you're a hair and makeup artist, okay? You might have one category could be daytime looks. One category could be evening looks. One could be tricks and tools of the trade. I don't know, your favorite eyelash curlers or your favorite false eyelashes. One category could be your favorite products. And every third Wednesday, you post your favorite product of some sort. People want to see the whole picture, not just the end result. So if you haven't done this already, I want you to go away and really have a good think about what your categories might look like. I'll give you another example in case you're struggling to think what yours might look like. In my photography Instagram account, so I share much less about me and my story because it's not so important for the relationship that I have with my clients on that side. So I don't, for example, share much about my travel, for example, but I do share family because, again, my clients typically are people who aspirationally want to build a family. I have a category that focuses on detail because I love photographing details. My brides and grooms and couples typically love details, and their wedding is detail orientated. So I have a whole category dedicated just to that. Okay, so work out what your categories look like, and don't be thinking that they've always got to be just your end product. So another example, let's say you are a boutique owner or a dress designer. You don't have to have a feed on your Instagram that's just like dress, here's another dress, here's one with lace, here's one with a sash, here's this, here's that. There's so much more to creating that relationship with your audience that is absolutely vital. So work out what your Instamap looks like. Brainstorm those 4 or 5 categories, because when it comes to sitting down and actually mapping out your social media, if you've ever got there and gone, I don't know what to post, this completely eradicates that process. It takes it away immediately. So I have it, I'll sit down and I'll be like, okay, right, a whole month's worth of content, 15 days. Okay, what shall I post? And I'll draw a complete blank. But I go straight back to my Instamap and I'm like, right, okay, let's pick travel. And this is exactly what I did the other day. And I found a picture of me in a hammock in Thailand and I posted, where are you all excited about traveling? I did that last week. That was a post I did last week. And I had so much interaction with people about it. So think about what your categories look like. So by now you will, and you might not be doing this in real time, I appreciate that, but you will decide which platforms you want to prioritize, decide how many times a month is realistic for you to post, and work out what your categories look like. There is a lot of love for this. Good, okay, fantastic. So you can do the numbers on that then. So if, for example, your target is to post 15 times per month, and you've got 4 or 5 categories, you will know that every single month you'll be posting 4 or 5 times for each of those categories, whatever your numbers look like. And suddenly it becomes so much more rational and achievable when you sit down to post your social media. Like, okay, I'm planning ahead for May and I need to post 4 times about category 1, 4 times about category 2, 4 about 3, 4 about 4. Brilliant. Straight to the chase. So that's your Instamap. Part 4 of the framework is understanding what to post when it comes to your pictures. Okay? Now, I know this isn't the easiest thing in the world. It's definitely easier when you're a photographer. But here's the thing. You need to be collecting pictures as you go about your daily life, about your, when we're all back to weddings. You need to be collecting pictures as you go, not scrabbling around in the dark at the end of the month. We've all done that. We've all done it. And it's not an enjoyable experience. So what I recommend you do to start as you mean to go on, go back through your phone photos, through, I don't know, wherever you store your pictures, your Google Drive, your Dropbox, wherever you store pictures, allow yourself just a kind of reset session to go and look at what you've never posted or what you've posted like 2 years ago, but is still something that really relates to you and your business, and create a folder of pictures. If you want to really geek out on this, which I really hope you do, within that folder, I recommend you then create 4 folders, 1 for each category. Can you see where I'm going here? Can you see it? So this is what I've got. I have it in Dropbox because I just really love Dropbox and it doesn't destroy the quality of your images. I've got Dropbox on my computer. I've got the Dropbox app on my phone, and within the Dropbox folder, I have folders for each of my categories. So it goes a bit like this. When I sat down the other day with my hammock post, and I looked at my Instamap, my 4 or 5 categories of things that I enjoy posting about that is relatable for my audience, and I was like, oh, I haven't posted about travel for a while. I went into my Dropbox, I found the picture of me in my hammock, right, which I've posted before. It's not original, you can go back, it's already there. And then it was all ready to go. It was like, boom, that's the one, off I go. And it made that process a billion times easier. There was no stumbling around in the dark. What the heck shall I write? Imposter syndrome, bish bash bosh, out it went, okay? It makes it so much easier. I'll give you other examples. You probably know, unless you're very new to me, one of my favourite things in the world to do is walk my dog Stanley. And I've got about 10 billion pictures of Stanley in the woods. And I just keep adding to that folder because it's just never old for me. So if you, let's take an example. Let's say you are a dress designer and you work in your home studio. Get into the habit of just adding to that folder of pictures. It's so easy. Things that might seem very mundane to you are incredible for us, other people. Same if you have, I don't know, a home kitchen that you're making your cakes. Even a beautiful picture of a bowl of eggs before you've started cracking them into the food mixer and telling us why free-range eggs are better than normal eggs. Okay, I'm just making stuff up now, but there's some examples of posts that might just pass you by unless you open your eyes to these things, because there is opportunity everywhere. Good, I'm glad this is making sense. So if you don't have images, you need to create them. Yeah, you heard that right. There is no point in just wandering around going, well, I haven't got any images. If you haven't got any images and you've ascertained that your social media is a good place to go and find clients, then you need to create images. There are some fantastic stock image options. I just say be careful about what you are claiming is your own creation. We just have to be very careful with that as creatives, that we're not claiming to have made or created something that actually doesn't have our mark on it. You can regram, so you can go and speak to other people. I get messages all the time. Can I repost this picture? You can use video. You can design your own posts. Canva is such a wonderful tool. Don't be afraid to use pictures that you posted before. Honestly, yesterday's Instagram post is today's chip paper. It doesn't matter if you posted it 3 weeks ago, 3 months ago, 3 years ago. If it's still relevant for you and your business and there is a message to be made around that picture, you can use it again. Or you go and book a photographer. That's the best possible option. Have a brand shoot, have some pictures of you. I know a lot of you are like, oh, no, I will not do that. It is absolutely money well spent booking a photographer and creating images that look good, that represent you, that represent your brand. And you know, if you want to see some examples, go and look at the ones on my feed. I would not be without those images. So that's number 4, pictures. Go and create yourself a Dropbox folder or a Google Drive folder, something you can access from your phone so that when you're out and about, you can take a picture and upload it. Okay? And go back through the archives. If you have a Instagram feed that you feel reluctant to post anything other than a professional picture, then obviously you've got your work cut out. So you need to go back through and really start to create a pool of images that you can just dip into anytime. Next is your captions. So number 5 is writing captions. And for me personally, this has always been, but is no longer, but has always been until the last 12 months, an absolute shocker for me. Because I'm not lazy, but I do like to take the path of least resistance. Anyone else share that? So in my head, before I'd really thought about the importance of what I was putting out there, I would just be like, well, you know, I'm putting a pretty picture, that'll do. Write something, here's a nice picture of a nice couple, post. And I'd be like, that's done, that'll do. I don't really need anything more than that. But I want you to ask yourself, when you're on social media, what is it about other posts? And I'm not talking about competitor posts, I'm just talking about anything that ever really inspires you to take action or really excites you, what is it about their posts that tick a box for you? Because I would hazard a guess that the picture is the showstopper. That's the thing that stops you in your scroll. So there's obviously something that the subject matter, the way the photo's taken, what it looks like, if it's a text box, what that says. That's the showstopper. But then it's the caption that really ignites something that means you then take action, or that you go and check that person's profile out, or that you go to their website. And do not forget, we're doing social media because we want to prime our audience to then go and take action. Like honestly, my main goal with social media is to get people off it. I don't want people spending hours going back through my Instagram grid. I want them on my website, my real estate. And then it's my website's job to transfer those people from viewer into interested party. Okay? So do not underestimate your captions. Like I said, about 12 months, it's actually over 12 months. It was last January, funnily enough, when I started writing the book, that I suddenly started to realize how crummy my caption writing skills were. And it was just laziness. It was just not understanding the importance of them. So here's what I did. I downloaded an app on my phone called Otter, like the animal, okay, called Otter. And when I'm out and about and I get an urge of an idea or a thought pops into my head and I'm like, oh, that would be really good. I never used to have anything I couldn't write it down. I try and go for a walk, without a notepad and pen to take notes. So I downloaded this app called Otter, and I'm not endorsed by Otter, I'm not sponsored, I just think it's a blooming good app. And when the moment takes me, I literally talk to my app and it writes it down for me. It actually writes it down. Can you believe there is such a thing? It's amazing. So it's normally when I'm doing school runs or walking the dog, an idea will come to me and I will talk into my phone and write my caption, and then it's done, it's saved. And all the way through the month, there's a lot of people like, hang on, this is a good idea. All the way through the month, I am constantly writing captions, but I'm never writing captions. I'm just talking into an app. And sometimes when I read them back, I'm like, where was I going with that one? So there is an editing process that follows. It's not always polished and ready to go. And sometimes it might just be like, write a caption about being brave, or write a caption about 3 steps to XYZ. But I will never, ever be short of ideas ever again. And honestly, you should see my notes. I've kind of got more captions than I have pictures now, which is really saying something. I'm a photographer. Lots of you are like, wow, this is my new favorite thing in the whole world. Okay, good. It's a fantastic app. And if you're anything like me and you have ideas pop into your head, but because you're a busy bee and you're here, there and everywhere, they just kind of float on by and then you've missed it. And then when you sit down in this little period of time that you've booked to sit and write your social media posts, they've gone. The idea's gone, you've forgotten, and it's, away with the fairies. So use the Otter app. I know there are other options available, but I don't know what they are because I use that. And know that the captions that you read on my posts are usually created by me on a dog walk, speaking into my phone. And then saved, ready for my 30-minute bish bash bosh planning session at the end of the month, which we will come on to in a second. This process will get you thinking on a way more regular basis. So let's think of some times where you might want to talk to your Otter app. Let's imagine you have been on a client call. So let's say you've had an inquiry and you've had a Zoom consultation, and you get off that call and you're really stoked because you're like, oh, I said some really good things and I really, you know, bossed that call. After you've done that, sit and quickly brainstorm some of the stuff you said, because they probably make really good social media posts. Was there a question that person asked you that you're like, oh yeah, I could really educate my audience with that one piece of information? Or maybe like an FAQ. Like, I'm sure on most people's websites there is an FAQ section. Are there like 10 questions that you could just quickly say out loud, and boom, there's some social media posts right there, ready and waiting to go. So caption writing, I'm hoping, could be easier for you this way. Does anyone else share that common experience that they get great ideas when they're not at their desk? They're doing other things, and then suddenly when they really need the good idea, you're like, oh, I had one and now it's gone and I've completely forgotten it. Because that's me all over. So that's why recording them is a lifesaver. Also, you can, yeah, that's me. Also, what you can do is then open your Otter app on your laptop. And I am going to be recommending that you sit down for your 30-minute planning session on your laptop, and you can literally copy and paste it, which makes it very, very easy. So let's just recap. We have decided the platform that we really, really want to focus on. We've decided on how often we are committed to posting. We've worked out what our Instamap is, our categories of things we want to post on. We've created this ongoing library of images that we are dedicated to adding to on a regular basis and keeping our eyes open around, you know, our daily lives. If you take a photo, which most people with smartphones have gajillions of photos, add it straight into your Dropbox or whatever you want to use for that. And then when good ideas pop into your head, read them out and save those so that those captions are ready to go. That's a great Joe. Yeah, generally when I'm in the shower, really need to get a whiteboard for the shower. That would be incredible. I have been known to put my phone by the shower so that I can just quickly reach out. Got a really good idea for XYZ. Yeah, it's really common though. It's your crown chakra. So it's the water stimulating your crown chakra, which is where, you know, why so many people get good ideas in the shower. Anyway, so that's your captions. So next and final stage, which was like the headline of this whole thing, but you know, we had to go through all of those things to get there, is scheduling this 30-minute power session. Underline that word, power session, to put all of these things together on a monthly basis. So I recommend not doing this on the last day of the month. Okay, because that just makes me feel, I don't know, like a wee bit more pressure, I think. So I usually have it scheduled on the 25th of the month, unless that's a weekend or a Friday when I don't work. And then I'll just post it on the, schedule it on the nearest day. But usually on the 25th of the month, I schedule my half an hour power session where I put all of these things together. Absolutely, unequivocally, if you are not using a planning app, please, please, please do so. There are tons of them available. There's Plannerly, there's one called Plan, there's the Facebook Creator Studio, which I know a lot of people like. I use one called Later, which I really love. I've actually not tried many others, but Later works really, really well for me. I've got it on my phone, I've got it on my laptop. If you're not using a planning tool, then I recommend that you do. Because then in this 30-minute power session, it is literally like an admin session. So you take away this, oh my gosh, I need to have to sit down and really fire this stuff out and it's all a bit heavy and it's content creation. Actually, that 30-minute power session just becomes such a joyous experience, because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm on top of this stuff because I'm doing it throughout the month, and it's just pulling all of the things together. Now, I also saw a comment just now, I think it might have been from Michelle, about loving that the pictures don't need to be directly related to the captions. 1,000,000,000%. They do not have to be the same. They don't need to add up. It can be that you're talking in the caption about one thing and the picture can be about something else. So don't always think that, just because you posted a picture of a bride in a dress, that all you can do is talk about dresses in that picture. There is way more available to you than that. So that schedule in your 30-minute power session, I recommend doing it about the 25th of the month. I like to do it close to the month because then I'm kind of more in tune with what's coming up. But doing it on the first day of the month just stresses me out, so I don't do it then. What I do recommend that you do is, be kind to yourself. Just because I'm saying 30 minutes, I can do this in 30 minutes, it doesn't mean that you have to or need to. And in fact, even if you do this in 1 hour, I think it will probably save you a bunch of time, because if you add up what it currently takes you now to sort of piecemeal your social media strategy together, I expect it will be significantly longer than 1 hour, or indeed 2 hours. So in my 30 minutes, all I'm doing is picking my 15 pictures, because I'm not posting every single day. I'm picking my 15 pictures from Dropbox. I'm literally dragging them in to later, uploading them, opening Otter, and copying and pasting 15 captions and editing them, because sometimes when you read, they don't come out as they should do. And that is it. That's the secret. That's how I do it. Who thinks this might be a bit of a game changer for them? Let me know in the comments. I'm also going to show you this. So, what I sometimes do is print out a little calendar of the month that I'm planning for. So I've chosen May 2021 here. You genius! Yay! You go, guys. So this is May 2021, and you can see I've just put some stars in the days that I'm gonna post social media. This is just an example, okay? Oh, there's a lot of love for this. Thank you, guys. So here's an example. So I've starred 15 days. Now, by the way, if you Google May or whatever month it is, May 2021 calendar, and click on images in Google, there will be hundreds of these, and you can just print them out. Okay, it's easy and simple and free to do that. And I just find, like, visually it works quite well for me. Now, before you actually commit to days, because they don't need to be evenly spaced, like, we can all just be a little bit kinder and more fluid about it. Think about important dates that you've got coming up in that month, okay? So do you have something new launching? Is there an announcement? Is it your birthday? Is there a special anniversary date within that month? So do that first every single month. And then mark into the calendar the remaining the remaining days that you want to post in social media. So all I've done here is star 15 days. And what that does is give me a really good start point for what my month is going to look like. And this is like a 1-second job, okay? Then you can decide which of your categories are going to go on which day. So for example, if one of your categories, let's take the, so I used the example of a hair and makeup artist, didn't I? And I said you could do like daytime looks, evening looks, what else did I say? Tools, tricks and tools of the trade, and your favorite products. So let's take favorite products. Let's say 5 of these or 4 of these were going to be favorite products. You could choose 4 evenly spaced dates and just write fave products, okay? And then you can go into your Dropbox folder, and because you've been a good student and you've been plugging away and you've got this pool of images available to you, you can pull those 4 pictures of your favorite products, drop them in, copy your captions over, and you are done. Does this make sense, people? And because you now are going to work in this way, what you will find and experience is that ideas are flowing like crazy because you know what you're doing. It's not rocket science to say that when you know the parameters of how these things work, it just becomes so much easier. So let's take the makeup artist example. You'll be going about your daily life now and you'll be like, oh, now I need to do a quick voice note on my favorite lashes, my favorite mascara, my favorite eyeshadow, my favorite blusher. And then suddenly, boom, the penny drops, you get a ton of content. And this is stuff that's in your head. This is your zone of genius. This doesn't require research. It doesn't require hours of going away to think about it. You know, you're the expert. So it's simply you showing up as the expert. How many words ideally for your caption? Honestly, I think as long as your message is clear and there is something that is either inspirational, educational, or a call to action. Like, I've launched a new product, it's on my website, click the link in my bio. I think there has to be some sort of meat on the bone. If you go back and look at my captions, sometimes mine are so long I've run out of text and I have to go into the comments. And sometimes it's like 2 sentences. So I think go with the flow of, as long as you are making the point that is important for you to make in that caption, I think release any kind of, oh, but it's got to be 300 characters. I love how the process is breakdownable, makes it feel so much more achievable. Yes, this is totally achievable. Anybody can do this. This is not rocket science, but it will leave all of that stress and overwhelm at the door and make it a whole bunch easier for you. So yeah, quick recap on this. Get yourself a calendar. Think of the important dates in the month, launches, announcements, birthdays, whatever it might be. Anniversaries, that was always a really easy one for me. I used to always post client anniversaries on my social media. Mark into the calendar your remaining social media posts, decide the category, choose from your pot of images, choose your captions, voila, done. And then you can schedule it, okay? And that's how I do it. And honestly, the real game changer for me has been letting go of this idea of having to post every day. I too had that belief for a very long time. If you can, and you love it, and you've got enough content, go for it. Like, just being more visible, like you can't be too visible. I'm not sure like 10 posts a day would be advisable, but if you can do that, then fantastic. But if you can't, it's okay. Find what works well for you, okay? This idea of, I don't need to be on every single platform. Choose what's important for you. And it doesn't have to be perfectly curated within an inch of your life. Let go of that idea. Let go of it, okay? So let's just go really, really quickly through that. Decide your platform or platforms. Decide how often you're going to post. Create your Insta map of categories. So 4 or 5 categories that you cycle through that really kind of inspire you on a daily basis to go and take some pictures or to create some captions. Create a back catalogue of pictures that either you've posted before or that are sat on your phone that you think, oh, one day that will make a nice social media post. Put them in a folder, use Dropbox, use Google Drive, whatever works for you. And then continually add to them. You will surprise yourself at the choice that you have available. Download the Otter app or find out another app that might be available to you and start creating captions on the hop. Start allowing yourself to go there. And now, of course, we've spoken about this. I imagine all of you in your head like, oh, I could do a post about that. I could do a post about that. And because you've got those Instamap categories, every time you see something that fits into that category, you'll be like, okay, hang on, I've got an idea here. Choose a scheduling tool. I recommend Later. It works really well for me, but I know there's a bunch that are really, really good. Schedule your 30 minutes power session or longer. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes, but it doesn't need to be 10 hours. And put your pictures and your captions together every month. And there we go, people. 6 pages of notes. I've got notes all over the place. This is going to be brilliant. You are very, very welcome. I'm so glad this has been useful. Like I said at the beginning, the reason I've done this is because I see people getting in a right old tangle with social media. And when you get in a tangle, you're not showing up. And when you don't show up, there will be someone else showing up. And that's who your client will book. And I don't want that for you. I want social media to be part of your marketing strategy, not the marketing strategy. There are many other exciting things for you to do with your business as well. It doesn't have to all be about social. You are very welcome. I love seeing your feedback. If you've got feedback, guys, if you're going to use this, let me know in the comments. It makes me so happy. As you know, I love sharing this stuff. I get really excited. Thank you so much to all of you for coming along. If you do start doing this, which I can see lots of people are, drop me a DM. Let me know how it goes. I'd be really excited to know the impact it's had on your business. Oh, you are very welcome. You're very welcome. Just a quick one. Week beginning, I'm looking at my calendar, week beginning 10th of May, I'm going to be running the Wedding Business Bootcamp again. I ran it at the beginning of the year and it was so much fun. So it's a bit like this, except we do it every day for a whole 5 days. So if you're new to me and you feel like you need a bit more of this in your life, please come along to that. I will be sharing the details of that very soon on my social media feed. So I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for these lovely comments. You are very welcome. Yay, so many of you saying, I am doing this. Fantastic. And I'll tell you, it's the people who do this, not the people that come and watch and then think, I'm going to do this one day. It's the people that take action. And it can be messy. It can be imperfect. But it's the people that go and take action on this stuff that really reap the rewards. So I'm really hoping that's you guys. Thank you so much for listening in. You're all fabulous. This year is going to be incredible for us. Hold in there. There is so much confidence brewing in our industry. There's so much hope. People are out there booking, inquiring as we speak. And I, for one, just cannot wait to get back to work. So sending you a bunch of love and I'll see you very soon. Mwah. Take care, everyone. Bye.